optimistic, and I pass through Steubenville all the time. I was through there last week, and we'll be through there again the next time we have a district work period. So we're going to be keeping an eye on Steubenville, and I hope that when I'm coming through the area that you'll come out and introduce yourself to me. I'd like to meet you. Let me ask you the question that I asked you again. Just today, President Clinton announced that he supports the extension of the 2001 and 2003 era tax cuts that cut tax rates for all Americans, cut the death tax, cut the taxes on investments, and doubled the child tax credit. Do you support extending these tax cuts as well? Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. I appreciate you giving me that feedback. It's important that I know what you folks are thinking, so I'd appreciate it if you'd answer that question. Hey, this is Congressman Bill Johnson. It's good to have you with us this evening. If you would like to ask a question, press 0 on your keypad, and we'll get you into the question queue. Let's go to Boardman now, to Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Congressman.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Having a great evening.
Good. What's your question?
My question is in relation to veterans here in the state of Ohio and the jobless rate or unemployment for veterans in our state, and what, if anything, you have as plans to get your colleagues there in Washington to provide jobs and assistance for veterans, specifically in the state of Ohio.
You betcha. Good question, Chris. First of all, let me tell you, as a 26-and-a-half-year veteran myself, I remain concerned and will continue to fight to make sure that our veterans are taken care of. Nobody asked them, or nobody made them sign up and go do what they do. They volunteered. One of the only nations on the planet that its young people volunteer to go fight for the cause of freedom. And that means that when they're done, that we have a responsibility to take care of them. I serve on the Veterans Affairs Committee. I chair the subcommittee on oversight and investigation. And I'm working hard here to make sure that the Veterans Administration and the federal government stands up and does the right thing by our veterans. In fact, I introduced a piece of legislation called H.R. 4048. It's called Improving Contracting Opportunities for Veteran-Owned Small Businesses Act. And this increases job opportunities for veterans by clarifying that the provisions of the Veterans First program apply to contracts awarded through the federal supply schedule. You know, with unemployment among veterans at 20%, that is absolutely, totally unacceptable. And we need to be able to get these veteran-owned small businesses off the ground so that they can hire more veterans. And we're doing that right here in Ohio. We've got about 56,000 veterans here in Ohio. I'm really, I was honored about 3 weeks ago to have been selected by the Ohio chapter of the Vietnam Veterans of America as their legislator of the year. And I can't tell you what a humbling experience that was to gather with some of our greatest warriors that fought in that conflict. It meant a lot to me. Bottom line, I'm going to continue to fight to make sure our veterans get a break and that they get the Veterans First treatment that they've earned and deserve. We need to put them back to work, and I'm going to continue to fight to make sure that we do. Hey, let me give you the results of the last question that I asked you. I asked you if you support the 2001 and 2003 era tax cuts that cut the tax rates for all Americans, cut the death tax, cut the taxes on investments, and double the child tax credit. And almost 83% of you said yes, you do. I appreciate that feedback. If you want to ask a question, please press 0 on your keypad, and we'll get you into the question queue. This is Congressman Bill Johnson, and it's a pleasure to be with you this evening. I'm enjoying the conversation that we're having. I want to get you started on another question so you can give me some more feedback. Here's a little bit of a different question. Last week, I voted to ban gender-selective abortions. That is, prohibiting mothers from aborting babies based on the child's gender. Would you have voted to ban this practice too? Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. Let me repeat it. Last week, I voted to ban gender-selective abortions. That is, prohibiting mothers from aborting babies based on the child's gender. Would you have voted to ban this practice too? Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. Hey, if you'd like to ask a question, press 0 on your keypad and jump into the question queue. We'll get your question up, and then you can get right back into the call. Let's go to Tammy down in Lowell. Hi, Tammy.
Hi. I was wanting to know what impact you think Congress, year after year, not passing a budget timely has what effect it has on job creation. Because I know there's a lot of uncertainty with the contractors, whether or not they're going to have work to be done when the budgets aren't passed and we're under a continuing resolution, and it causes great concern. So I wondered, from your perspective, what impact do you think it has, and what are you doing to see that Congress does their job and gets a budget passed timely?
Well, thanks for asking that question, Tammy. You should come up here to Washington. You could testify. You're very much knowledgeable on the process. You know, the federal law requires that the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives pass a budget by April 15th of every year. Now, for the last 2 years, ever since I came to Congress as your representative in the House of Representatives, we've passed a budget. We passed one in 2011, and we passed one here in 2012. The Senate of the United States has not passed a budget in almost 3 years. And you hit the nail on the head, Tammy, with your comment that this introduces a great deal of uncertainty. First of all, it does nothing in terms of helping us get our fiscal house in order and forcing Washington to live within its means. That's why I introduced a bill about a month ago, and it's gaining support. It's called Pass a Budget Now Act. And my bill simply says this: whichever chamber of the United States Congress, the Senate or the House of Representatives, whichever chamber does not pass a budget as required by law by April 15th, beginning on April 16th, the members of that chamber do not get paid. So if the Senate doesn't pass a budget by April 15th, the senators don't get paid. If the House of Representatives doesn't pass a budget by April 15th, then the members of the House of Representatives don't get paid. And furthermore, not only do they not get paid, but the money that comes out of their paycheck doesn't go into an escrow account that they can get access to it later. It is forfeited forever, and it goes toward paying down the national debt. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if you took all of the salaries from all of the senators and all of the House of Representative members, that it's going to solve our debt crisis. It's not, because our debt crisis is too big. But I guarantee you this much: it will create a debt problem for the members of that chamber of Congress who do not do their job. The American people have a reasonable expectation that elected officials come to Washington to be the voice of the American people and to do the bidding of the American people. And that means doing their job. And if they're not going to do their job, they shouldn't get paid.